Trail cameras are unique objects. Hunters mostly use them to capture wildlife and other elements of nature, but sometimes these trail cameras capture things that have never been seen before by the human eye. They are mystic with no plausible explanation for it. Today in this video, we've compiled some of the most mysterious footage caught by trail cameras that'll leave you in wonder. So sit back and keep watching till the end. We promise you won't regret it. Coyotes and deer have a long rivalry. Coyotes need to spot a deer in reach, and they'll be out on all fours, determined to take it down. Our first clip shows something similar. It's June 2021. The forest is dark and quiet, and we see a deer jumping through the grass out of nowhere. She looks panicked, as if she was trying to escape something. Then the coyotes come into frame. They're chasing the deer, but wait a minute. If you look more closely, you will see the deer has a baby deer with her. As the coyotes aim for the baby deer, the mama deer starts running around in circles all over the place. There could be two reasons for her sudden hysteric movement. She's either trying to distract the pack of coyotes while the baby deer finds his way out, or she's shielding the deer from the hungry coyotes. The second clip is from 2010. It's a few days before Christmas. In the picture, it could be seen that a pack of lions is moving around a freshly hunted prey. It looks like they're celebrating this kill. But what's really odd in this situation is that we're talking about mountain lions who most likely like to live a solitary life. In fact, they barely interact with each other except for the mating season or when a mother has recently given birth to a cub. Mountain lions can easily be spotted during the day or night, but they usually hunt at dusk or dawn, which, if you think a little harder, is correlated with deer activity. In the picture, it doesn't look like their hunt is a deer. Instead, it's some animal with dark fur, possibly a cow. But with all the lions gathering, it's hard to tell what it is exactly. There are roughly 8 lions in this picture, which is surprising since mountain lions are apex predators, meaning they hunt and devour their prey all alone. The third clip we have was taken in October of 2011. The camera owner was checking his trail cameras fixed on his property when he saw this strange clip. In the picture, you can see a stout man standing on his property. From the look of it, the man doesn't look like he has any purpose for being there. But what's even weirder is that the property owner claims that he has cameras installed on both the exit and entrance of the property, and the man isn't seen in any of that footage. One possibility is that the man could have come through the woods, but the owner says that the woods are thick and compact. Thus, it's not easy to walk through them, especially for a shirtless guy. Some suggest that this man might be a time traveler. Before you get confused, a time traveler is someone who can travel through the past and the future. The man resembles a gold prospector from the old days, especially with a band tied around his head that looks similar to a headlamp. If he is indeed a time traveler, we can guess that he's not very pleased to end up in these woods. Aren't things getting a little dull? Let's tweak them a bit with this next clip, which is undoubtedly prodigious. Casper the sheepdog is a 20-month-old Great Pyrenees dog. But he's not just any dog. He's a one-of-a-kind dog that's determined to put up a fight until their last breath. John, Casper's owner, says the dog was hanging around the backyard one afternoon when a pack of coyotes appeared out of the woods. Their behavior was what you could expect from any coyote. They were running here and there in search of their next meal. John was quite familiar with the nature of coyotes and how they could be backed away easily. As expected, the pack returned. But the next afternoon around 2 o'clock, John heard some noise in the backyard, and he went to see what it was. He was astounded. A pack of coyotes was standing right in front of a flock of sheep, which Casper was apparently heading. John hurried to lead the coyotes away, but this time they were adamant about not leaving without a fierce fight. While John was still thinking about how to control the situation, Casper jumped through the band of coyotes, and the battle began. You might be thinking that Casper was in for something terrible, but Casper lunged at the coyotes, knocking one down after another. He then jumped and attacked a few more coyotes. John tried calling Casper back because he could see that he was injured, but Casper was locked in a fight that didn't stop for another hour. Finally, the coyotes retreated into the woods, perhaps because they had sniffed another prey nearby, but Casper followed them. A few hours passed and it was dark now, and still no sign of Casper. John and his family were saddened by this incident since Casper had been their pet dog for a long time. So they put up a Facebook post for Casper, and the next day their neighbors helped them look around for him. The family hadn't been too deep in the woods when they spotted 3 dead coyotes at a small distance from each other. They also found pieces of Casper's tail along the way, and by this point, the family was ready to find Casper dead, because sadly he was nowhere to be seen, and John had to return empty-handed. After a few days, John was cleaning the chicken coop when he spotted something in the corner of his eye. He turned to find a wounded and saddened Casper looking back at him, with his eyes pleading for help. Casper had some serious injuries that took a while to heal, but the vet said that he was a hero to have survived. If you've ever read classic fiction or played the video game Dungeons & Dragons, you'll know what a Minotaur is. It's a creepy creature said to have the body of a human along with a tail and the head of a bull. Look at this picture. At first glance, we can't tell what it is. It looks somewhat like a huge bipedal beast that resembles a gorilla, or maybe Bigfoot, but we're astounded by the pointed horns on his head. What are they? What part of this creature do they signify? If you look a little closer, you'll see that its hands look a lot like a human's, but we're not sure it is human. Is it even from this world? Or is it some grown man in a terrifying costume walking around the woods? Guess we'll never know. Doug Teague Hickory, a resident of North Carolina, claims to have seen a real-life Sasquatch in the woods when he was out on a walk with his dog, Crazy Daisy. Doug submitted cell phone footage of the creature he saw. Several other people in that district have complained about seeing a creature wandering around, but Doug is certain he saw a Bigfoot. The day Doug saw the creature, he and Daisy headed to check the footage of the trail cam Doug had recently installed. They were halfway in the woods when Doug heard some leaves rustling on the other side, and then a big rock came flying in their direction. Doug immediately pulled out his cell phone and started recording the view. In the 10-minute video he submitted, it could be seen that not just one but 3 creatures are hiding behind the trees. Since we haven't encountered a Bigfoot before, we don't exactly know what it looks like. But if 3 of these deadly creatures are out on the loose, then I hope the best for the people of this county.